Unlike neighbors Thailand and Vietnam, the Philippines has failed to become self-sufficient in rice and faces unique challenges.
It has a rapidly growing population. It has a relatively limited land area. It's buffeted by a number of over 20 typhoons every year. And so even though its rice production growth is moving along at a good clip, with the demand growth from population, it's very difficult to keep up.
To increase production over the next 2 years, the government will spend as much as $1 billion on irrigation, warehousing, and fertilizers. The nation's demand for the grain is about 12 million tons a year. It estimates an output of 11 million this year. But some say it's not just about production.
I think it's rice hoarders, manipulators, high price of rice.
I think it's only the buying power of the Filipinos that right now is experiencing because of unemployment and underemployment.
Back in Tondo, Jocelyn David worries not about reasons behind the high prices, but about her kids.
Lalo na pagka nakikita ko silang tulog.
At night, when they all go to sleep, I stare at them and wonder if I can provide proper education to all of them. My hope is for them to finish school. I don't know what the future holds for them.
Haslinda Amin, Bloomberg News, Manila.
What the future holds for them and millions more who depend on rice to live is the focus for Robert Ziegler, Director General of the International Institute of Rice Research. Robert is normally based in the Philippines, but he joins us from Ottawa. Robert, all agricultural commodities have soared, but the problem with rice is particularly acute because so many people depend on it.
Well, that's right. It's the staple food for almost half the world's population, and particularly for the world's poor. So a rise in price is of great concern.
And like some other crops, availability is a problem because there's so little excess. Even in good times, very little is exported.
Well, rice is unique in the major food crops. Only 7% of global production is traded internationally. So it's a very thin market, and any shock can have a pretty strong impact on prices.
And on top of that, we have seen speculation, hoarding of rice, and we've also seen government policies to limit exports.
Yeah, that's quite a problem. As your previous speaker indicated, governments are concerned about making sure that their own populations have enough to eat and are trying to avoid food inflation at home. But that does put serious pressure on the international markets.
And at a time when we need more rice, one of the biggest problems, an ongoing drought in Australia.
You know, the drought in Australia has basically wiped out their rice production. They're not a large producer, but they do export most of their production. So that really was a shock to the global trade as well. Yeah.
And we are seeing a decline in rice yields, I understand, as demand increases. Why is that?
Well, what's happening is a flattening out of the yield growth, and that's because of a disinvestment in agriculture. We've got a disinvestment in agricultural research, so new technologies are slowing, coming out of the pipeline, and infrastructure is running down as governments have really not invested in maintaining their irrigation infrastructure.
Are we going to be able to get out of the rice crisis, and if so, when?
Well, we certainly can get out of it. We will have to invest more in agricultural research. We're going to have to invest more in our infrastructure, but it takes time. You can't simply turn on and off the faucet of technology. So we're going to have to look at a range of solutions, some stopgap short-term solutions, while longer-term solutions kick in.
Well, thank you very much, Robert Ziegler, Director General of the International Institute of Rice Research. Well,